This video is for lash tinting, and we are going to start by arriving to work. And the first thing that we're always going to do is wash our hands. So we are going to wet our hands underneath the water, and we are going to find that liquid hand soap, and we are going to wash our hands thoroughly. We are going to wash our hands down to our wrist. We're going to wash the back of our hands to our wrist. We are going to wash our fingers. We are going to wash the back of our fingers, fingertips and nails, between our fingers and our thumbs. We're going to wash our wrists. We're going to wash our thumbs. We're going to do all of that for 20 to 30 seconds and then give it a good proper rinse. Find some disposable paper towels, grab them, turn the water off with the paper towels, dry everything thoroughly, toss it, and then find your 70% ethyl alcohol hand sanitizer, and you're going to hand sanitize. And then your client's going to come, but you're going to prepare your station before they even arrive. So let's talk about what you would need for that lash tint. So you got to prepare your room, of course, absolutely, no question. So what you're going to do is disinfect that workstation, bed, and equipment using a disinfectant wipe, following manufacturer's instructions. You will check equipment to ensure that all devices are in safe working order and plugged into a working receptacle. You'll gather clean supplies needed for the lash and brow tint service. Lash service. She hasn't asked for brows yet. Storing in a clean, closed container, you'll dispense products needed for the service according to the client's desired shade. For brows and lashes, you'll mix according to manufacturer's directions. So you want to prepare your disposable portion cup for each product with a portion of the product by opening the top of the container and ensuring the tip of the nozzle does not come into contact with the disposable portion cup tray, or you can remove product with a disinfected or clean single-use spatula. You will close the lid and then put it away. And then you'll set your portion cup and tray on the tray. You are going to drape your facial bed using one fitted sheet, one flat sheet, and 3 towels. You'll place clean laundered sheets down on the disinfected facial bed, placing a towel horizontally at the head of the bed. You're going to lay a hairnet and a headband at the top, or headband or both, on top of the first towel, along with a rolled towel to support the head and neck of the client. Save the 3rd towel to lay across the client's décolleté, or you can use that disposable paper drape to the bed. So you're going to go meet with your client now who's arrived. You've got to do your client consultation. So just keep in mind that when you do that, after you've set everything up, you will have washed hands. Before we do that, let's discuss our tray that is already set up for the service. So what we have here is we have some makeup remover, we have our cotton rounds, we have our protective cream, we have water, we have our cream color with our activator, we have disposable applicators, we have iPads, we have disposable gloves, we have paper towels. We've got everything we need to perform this lash tint set up for our client. And really what we would have would be a bunch of different tints because you might not know what color you're going to use. So I just have my tints out because I don't know what color we're going to tint her lashes yet. So let's meet with our client. She's arrived, and talk about what we do in that step of the process. And once again, remember that you're going up to her with clean hands, or him. So you greet your client and escort them to your work area, and you're going to determine the client's preferences. You're going to assess the client's needs. You will assess the client's skin by performing a visual skin analysis to ensure that there is no inflamed, infected, broken, raised, or swollen skin in the area that's to be worked on, or an open wound or sore in the area to be worked on, infection or infestation, for example, lice, to prevent from safely performing the service. You will assess the client's consultation form for any medications and products used within the last 72 hours. You will consult on any known allergies. You will consult with the client on any facial surgeries within the last 3 months and if the client is under a physician's care. You'll assess if the client is prone to cold sores or fever blisters. You'll assess if the client has used exfoliating or lightening agents within the last 72 hours, like alpha hydroxy acids, beta hydroxy acids, hydroquinone, etc. You'll assess facial injections within the last 3 weeks, like Botox or hyaluronic fillers. If the client is free from those contraindications, we can move forward with the process, which the client is. So we're going to go ahead and get her set up. So we're going to take her to the bed, and she won't need to disrobe for this service. We just want to get her comfortable. So we're going to place that rolled towel underneath her head, and then we're going to place our headband on because we want to make sure that we keep her hair out of the way while we are doing her lashes. So we make sure that that's all out of the way. And then we've got this nice towel here that we're going to put over her clothing or drape, whatever you want to have. And we're going to make sure we cover up her clothes, her skin, everything, because we don't want anything to fall, any tint to fall anywhere on her in any way, shape, or form. And we're going to do all of that before we wash our hands. So we're going to get her ready, and then we're going to wash her hands. So we've talked to her about the color that she wants. And she has just laid down, and she's now decided that, you know what, I'm laying down and I think I would like to get my brows tinted as well. Oh, well, good. Perfect time to add that in. So we're going to do both lash tinting and brow tinting in this service, and we'll do the lashes first because they take longer to process. So we're going to wash our hands. So we'll go to the sink. We're going to wet our hands, liquid hand soap down to the wrists, back of the hands down to the wrists. We're going to do our fingers. We're going to do the backs of our fingers. We're going to do our fingertips and nails, between our fingers and our thumbs. Wash those thumbs. Wash your wrists. You're going to do all of this mega wash for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds. Completely rinse it off. And when you're rinsed, after that proper thorough rinse, reach for some disposable paper towels to turn off your water. Once your water's off, dry everything thoroughly, toss them in the trash, and then get your hand sanitizer. 70% ethyl alcohol, and you're going to fully sanitize your hands. And something to note right here is make sure your hands get completely dry, because you have to put disposable gloves on for this service, and you want to make sure that your hands are dry before you try to put gloves on. It's not fun. It won't be easy. Once your gloves are on, we're going to go ahead and get your tint processing before we start prepping her, because it might take 3 to 4 minutes, and that'll give you the time that you need to remove the makeup and all that stuff. So any moisturizers or oils or anything that might be on her face. So we're going to take care of that. After we get our gloves on, then we'll mix up, and then we'll get to our client. So we're getting our disposable gloves on, and then we are going to find our tint, and we've just determined the color that we think she needs based on her style and preferences. And so what we're going to do is our ratio. So we're following manufacturer's directions, so whatever that particular manufacturer wants you to do. So we'll, for our purposes, we're going to say that we have 3/4 of an inch of the color cream to 2 to 4 drops of the developer. So we're going to squeeze our developer in. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. We're adding 4 drops today. And then we're going to stir it all together. Mix it, mix, mix. And we're going to let that process while we get her ready. So while that's processing, we're gonna remove her makeup. That's the first step we're gonna do. So we're gonna take makeup remover, we're gonna get to these little cotton pads soaked in that remover, and we're gonna have her close her eyes, and we're gonna lay them on her eyes. While that's working there for us for a minute, we are gonna take, since she's out of the brow in, some remover here with and remove her brow shadow or any oil or anything that might be in the brow hair. We're gonna go back and forth. We're gonna go away, and then we're also gonna come back in so that we can make sure we get it all off, and then we're gonna flip to the other side. Just take the time here to make sure you do. And I'm just bracing against the opposite part of the brow, just holding it in place as I work. I'm gonna go back and give it a double pass. Why not? It's important to get it all off because you're gonna tint. Come here, iPad. And toss him away, and we're gonna give this a little dry area here. We're gonna dry more in a minute. We just wanna go ahead and move on to the eye area. So what we're gonna do now is we are going to take off this eye makeup she might have on. Take your time if you've gotta do it a couple times, that's okay. Most important is that she's really nice and clean. Once again, we're removing any oil, etc. Makeup, eye cream, concealer, all the things. While this is doing all this, see your tint is developing, so it'll be perfect for time to go on. Now this client's already told us that she has some kind of stubborn light hairs in here, little sprinkles, little sparkles that are gorgeously silver. So we're gonna make sure we do our level best to make this client happy. They're coming here for sure because they don't want to see that anymore. So let's give her a good dry down, which is another reason why she decided to go ahead and add in the brow, because it's just so much easier on her if she's got everything tinted, and then she doesn't have to do as much makeup or definition work. Okay, we've got everything looking really nice and dry. I'm gonna just go ahead and comb through the brow as well, just to kind of smooth it out in the direction of the hair. Just using a little disposable mascara wand to do that. You can do a little brow brush, whatever you wanna work with. And we are going to then do some protection steps. So we're gonna apply that protective cream underneath the eyes first. It's a little bit of a protective cream here. Get up a little bit closer to the lash line there underneath. Get it underneath, nice and good, good. I'm trying to get it up toward that lash line under her lashes while she's closed. And then we are going to definitely apply it around the eyebrow area. Underneath and then on top as well. Get a new one here for this side. Underneath. And now we are going to apply our eye pads underneath, up under the lower lash line. We're going to make sure that we tint both lower lashes, and then she can close her eyes before we do the tops. She won't be able to open her eyes once we do the tops. So make sure you get those lower lashes done on both sides first. So we're going to apply our eye pads underneath the lashes. And then we can go ahead and start applying the lash tint. Lash tint needs to stand a lot longer than the brow tint. So we've got a timer here as well that once we get this lash tint on, we're gonna set our timer. So coming in for this side first, bottom lashes first on both sides. So we're gonna do our bottom lash on this eye. And we're gonna do our bottom lashes on this eye. And let's go ahead and toss that. And then we're gonna get the tint. You can go ahead and close your eyes, keep your eyes closed. And we're gonna go in now with our top lashes. And now I'm going to go ahead and set my timer for 10 minutes. Setting timer, and then I'm just going to make sure I get all the lashes good and coated while that timer is on. Just got a little bit on the lid there. I was just wiping that off. And then we are going to wait. Oh, look, our 10-minute timer is up. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take off these eye pads so we can remove the tint and toss them. And now what we're gonna do is get some water to remove our lash tint. Taking your time here, getting it all off. Getting another pad now to remove our lash tint. Might do it 3 times, fine. And oh my goodness, wouldn't you know it? I can still see some of those silver hairs on both sides of the lashes. Not intense, but I'm not gonna send this client home like this. She'll be very disappointed. I am going to do the tint again. So I'm sorry, Mrs. Robinson, but we're gonna add some more tint. Just need to make sure we let it sit for another round. Let's get those guys covered up. Oh, great. Okay, perfect. So I'm just gonna touch, add some of that barrier cream again real quick. Come on, we're gonna do this. We're gonna take good care of you. That's how we do it here. We make sure when you leave that you're a satisfied customer. Oh, good, I'm glad you care. Oh yeah, I really do care. Because otherwise you'll go home and you'll be sad and you're gonna come right back to get it fixed. So let's get these pads back on. Now you don't need the tint on the bottom because the bottom took really well. It's these top, there's a couple lashes here in the top that are stubborn on both sides. Oh yeah, you've had it before, you know what it is, right? Well, you did warn me. So we're gonna go ahead and make sure that we get you good and tinted before you go home. That way you don't have to come back in and get fixed. We're gonna take care of it right now. So you're all set, keep your eyes closed. We don't need to do the top, and let's get some of this lash tint back on you. And this second round here should definitely be more than enough to take care of those little stubborn guys. Thank you, thank you. Getting a new applicator, getting some tint, here we go. All right, this is gonna be the one, this is gonna do it. Keep those eyes nice and closed. And we're gonna go ahead and set our timer again. So, timer has been set, and we're just gonna pretend that 10 minutes has elapsed, and we are now confident that it has had to do what it needs to do this time, and all those silvers are covered. So we're gonna go ahead and take off the iPads. Okay, Mrs. Robinson, that should do it. Alarm went off. We're gonna toss them, and then we're gonna get some water and cotton rounds. Let's take this makeup remover, or let's take this lash tint off and make sure that we got everything covered. Oh my goodness, it's so much better. You're gonna be so happy. Really, really, it looks great. Oh, I'm so glad. Yes, it was worth the extra 10 minutes, and your brows will be quick, but these lashes can be stubborn, and we're not gonna send you home without the result that you wanted. Oh, thanks. Well, you're welcome. I guess I should probably start changing my voice and make her voice different than my voice, but you know. And if you have to do this once again 2 to 3 times to get all the tint off, you do that. Wow, they look awesome. She's gonna be like overjoyed. All right, keep your eyes closed, Mrs. Robinson. It is time for us to do the brows now, okay? We've got your protective cream on, but we need to put the tint on. Tint will not be on as long, so you won't have to be here forever. So let's get this tint going on your brows. Okay, so we've got her brow tint on, and it needs to sit for 3 minutes. So we are not gonna wait that 3 minutes. We are going to pretend that we've set that timer, and bing, 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 she is ready. Her 3 minutes are up. So let's get our water and our cotton rounds, and we are gonna take off this brow tint now. And we're gonna be real gentle. We're gonna be careful not to get anything in her eyes that we've been working on for a while. And oh yeah, that looks really good. That took well. I don't see any silver sparkles coming through. Little blondies, as we like to say. Let's go to this side. We need to get a new clean cotton round. Really getting in there. Once again, remember, 2 to 3 times if necessary to remove that tint. Whatever it takes. This one's got some extra. Doesn't really want to come off. So dry. Nice and dry. Beautiful. Okay, so you are going to ask her to open her eyes. You are going to present her with your work. See if she's a satisfied customer. She definitely is, because you took the time to redo it. So she's very impressed with your professionalism and she loves the results. She's definitely going to be booking that follow-up appointment because she wants to make sure that her little sprinkles don't come showing back through. So she's fine. So now what we need to do is we're going to take off her headband, the extra towel, let her get her things so that we can go check her out and talk about the next step with her. You will remove your disposable gloves at this point and toss them in the trash. Which certainly can take a minute sometimes. And when you're finished, you will then take her to check her out, discuss maintenance and aftercare. Because she's got challenging lighter lashes and brows, you're going to get her on the book for the amount of weeks that you think she needs to be here. She definitely rebooks with you. She likes you. So then you can go back because you've got another client that's like dying to get in to see you. So you have to discard all those single unit items like your disposable mixing cups, like all the little stuff that you used. You'll place any implements, if you used any, in a closed container that you've labeled to be disinfected. You'll place the cape, the headband, towels, anything on that end into a closed container until it's laundered. And then you have to prepare and clean your work area. So you will identify proper cleaning agents and read the manufacturer's directions. You will follow the manufacturer's directions for mixing and usage. You'll wipe down your workstation and area with cleaning solution to remove debris. You'll identify disinfectant that is bactericidal, virucidal, and fungicidal, EPA approved for use in a salon setting. You will follow manufacturer's directions for mixing and or using appropriate aerosol disinfectant. You will disinfect electrical equipment, store it in a clean area separate from other implements. And then you will do your final hand wash. So you will wet your hands under the water at the sink. You're going to take that liquid hand soap, coin size, in your palms down to your wrist. Wash the back of your hands down to your wrist. You're going to wash your fingers. You're going to wash the back of your fingers. You're going to wash those fingertips and nails. You're going to wash between your fingers and between your fingers and your thumbs. You're going to wash your thumbs. You're going to wash your wrists. And you're going to do all of that for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds. When you're finished, you can rinse everything off underneath in the water, and then you will get disposable paper towels. Turn off the water with the paper towels, trash the paper towels, and then find your hand sanitizer because you're all dry. You've dried off, and you can finish with your hand sanitizer. Your room should be ready to set up now for your next client. And that is the end of a brow and lash tint video.